stupid. Stay dangerous. It sounds like a joke, like something a child would say before getting into trouble. But this is one of the oldest, most effective power strategies in human history. Not brute strength, not loud dominance, but concealment, the appearance of ignorance, the illusion of incompetence. When the world sees a fool, it drops its guard, and the one who plays the fool holds the blade behind his back. Arthur Schopenhauer understood this. He wrote about the blindness of people, how most are too absorbed in their own thoughts, their own egos, to truly perceive the mind behind the mask. To act stupid is not to be stupid. It is to be invisible, unthreatening, unassuming. And that invisibility is power. Because while they laugh at you, while they underestimate you, they expose themselves. Their pride, their insecurities, their secrets. They speak too freely. They plan too openly. They drop their weapons, not knowing you've never put yours down. The truly dangerous person isn't the one who shouts, who flexes, who demands to be seen. It's the quiet one, the one who smiles vaguely, nods often, and speaks little. The one who lets others think they're in control. That is the Schopenhauer trick. Let them think you're beneath them. Let them think they've figured you out. Let them play their games while you watch in silence. And when the time comes, strike with precision. The world respects intelligence only after it's been weaponized. But until then, it mocks what it cannot understand. So give them something simple to understand. Give them a character to laugh at. A mask that says, I am no threat. I am no competition. I am beneath you. And behind that mask, build, train, listen, prepare. This is not cowardice. It is strategy. It is control. Do not show your mind too early. Do not reveal your ambition too soon. A loud plan invites interference. A visible threat invites attack. But a fool walks freely, unbothered, unwatched, unchallenged. And that freedom is priceless. What they don't see, they can't stop. What they don't respect, they don't fear. And what they don't fear, they never prepare for. Keep your cards close. Hide your brilliance. Let your silence breed their overconfidence. Because eventually, their arrogance will open a door. And when it does, you walk through. Calm, ready, merciless. In a world of performers, be the stagehand. In a room full of egos, be the echo. Let them monologue. Let them reveal themselves. Every fool who thinks he's the smartest in the room is already at risk. And the one he ignores, the one he laughs at, that's the real threat. Act slow. Miss a detail on purpose. Ask questions you already know the answers to. Watch how quickly they relax, how easily they spill what they think is safe. This is not deception. This is patience. This is power. The river that cuts through stone does not roar. It moves quietly, persistently, unseen, until it's too late. Schopenhauer believed that human nature is selfish, distracted, and blind to subtlety, which means subtlety becomes your ally. If they can't see your hand, they can't stop your move. If they don't see you coming, they can't run. You don't need to be loud to be lethal. You don't need applause to be effective. Power isn't always in the throne. Sometimes it's in the shadow beside it. You can be underestimated, or you can be overexposed. Choose carefully, because once they see your potential, they'll try to contain it. They'll compete. They'll sabotage. But if they think you're harmless, they'll leave you alone. And that's when you become dangerous. Not because you fooled them, but because you mastered yourself. Stay quiet. Stay observing. Act stupid. Stay dangerous. That's how you win. They call it humility. They call it modesty. But you know better. It's the art of vanishing in plain sight, of lowering your profile while sharpening your edge. It's camouflage for the modern battlefield, where the war is psychological, social, strategic. Look around. Everyone's trying to be seen, trying to be loud, trying to prove themselves. But the ones who move the world, are rarely the ones shouting. They're the quiet ones, the patient ones, the ones who smile and nod while thinking 10 moves ahead. Acting stupid is not about self-destruction. It's about self-control. When you hold back, you build force. When you seem small, you gather space. And when no one's looking, you grow. They rise too fast, craving validation. They show too much, needing attention. They burn out, exposed to the elements. But you stay in the shade, in the silence, in the background, learning, watching, calculating. And when the spotlight finally turns to you, you're not scrambling, you're not pretending, you're ready, because you've been ready. Schopenhauer once said, "Talent hits a target no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one else can see. But to hit a target no one else can see, you first have to become someone no one else can see. Invisible, dismissed, unremarkable, until the moment comes, until the move is made, and by then, it's already too late for them." You see, in a world where everyone is addicted to showing off, restraint becomes radical. Restraint becomes revolutionary. The more they flaunt, the more you withhold. The more they talk, the more you listen. The more they assume, the more you control. There's a rhythm to this, a tension. You pretend not to know while learning everything. You pretend not to care while watching everyone. You pretend to fall behind while laying the trap ahead. And when they think they've figured you out, when they place you in a box and seal it shut, that's when you open the door from the inside. They'll never see it coming, because they weren't paying attention, because they were too busy performing for each other. And you were too busy preparing. This is the long game. It's not for the insecure. It's not for those addicted to applause. It's for the strategic, the disciplined, the quietly dangerous. So when they joke at your expense, laugh with them. When they call you simple, nod slowly. When they underestimate you, thank them. Because every time they misjudge you, they give you power. Because they think you're behind them, when really, you're above them, above their ego, above their chaos, above their need to be seen. You're not chasing the spotlight. You're studying its blind spots. And when the time is right, you won't need to announce yourself. You won't need to prove anything. You'll just move, and the world will feel it. That's the Schopenhauer power trick. You don't dominate by appearing strong. You dominate by being ignored, until domination is inevitable. And when they finally look back, trying to understand how you outplayed them, they'll remember the smile, the silence, the slow nod. They'll remember how you never pushed back, how you never fought for attention, how you never seemed like a threat. And it'll haunt them, because the move that beats you is always the one you never saw coming. But you were the move, all along. They'll say you were lucky. They'll say it was sudden. They'll rewrite the past to make sense of what they never understood. But you'll know the truth, that every step was calculated. Every silence was intentional. Every moment of apparent ignorance was a setup. That's the beauty of this power. It's not explosive. It's corrosive, slow, silent, and unstoppable. A quiet river wears down the mountain, not through force, but through patience. And when the mountain finally collapses, everyone's shocked. But the river isn't. The river always knew. When you act stupid, people show you who they really are. Their real motives, their real weaknesses, their real arrogance. They drop their guard around you because they think you're beneath them. They don't prepare for you because they don't fear you. And that gives you the single greatest advantage in any battle. Time to grow in the dark. Time to gather your resources. Time to map every inch of the terrain while they sleep in their illusion of superiority. By the time they realize their mistake, you've already taken the ground beneath their feet. This is why Schopenhauer saw intellect not as something to display, but as something to conceal. The more valuable your mind, the less you should expose it, because value attracts envy. It attracts sabotage. It attracts resistance. But if you keep it hidden, you move freely. You move quietly. You move with deadly precision. Most people are too obsessed with proving their worth. And in doing so, they reveal their every asset. They play their hand too early. And by the time the real game begins, they've got nothing left to hold. But not you. You hold your cards with a grin. You let them believe they've already won. And when they celebrate too early, you strike. It's not about vengeance. It's not even about competition. It's about control. You control perception. You control timing. You control outcomes. Because you're not reacting. You're orchestrating. Every mistake they made was allowed. Every insult they threw was collected. Every underestimation was counted. You built a war chest out of their arrogance. And now it's time to spend it. Not with rage. Not with noise. But with quiet execution. When they finally see you for who you are, they won't know how to respond. Because their entire strategy was built around the wrong assumption that you were weak, that you were small, that you didn't matter. And when that illusion dies, so do their chances. This is how you dominate without showing your teeth. This is how you win without showing your sword. Let them think they've outsmarted you. Let them take the spotlight. Let them walk ahead. Because they don't realize you're the one drawing the map. You're not late. You're not lost. You're lurking. And when the moment arrives, you won't need to announce your presence. The silence will speak for you. Let them think you're a clown. Let them see a jester. Let them laugh. Because when the laughing stops, they'll be on their knees, looking up, confused, defeated, asking themselves how the fool became the king. And the answer will never come, because by then you'll be gone, already moving on to the next room, the next opportunity, the next game, invisible again, ignored again, dangerous again. This is how you rise in a world that rewards noise, by becoming the silence they fear too late. Act stupid, stay dangerous, and keep them guessing forever. They'll call it manipulation, they'll call it deceit, but what they won't call it is wrong, because deep down they know the world doesn't reward the loudest, it rewards the last one standing. And you don't survive by playing all your cards on the table. You survive by becoming unreadable, by being underestimated long enough to become undeniable. That's what acting stupid really is. Not weakness, not fraud, but the ultimate restraint of power. It takes strength to be overlooked and not react. It takes vision to be insulted and still smile. It takes power to let them walk ahead, knowing you could pass them at any time. But you don't, because you're not chasing validation, you're chasing victory. And victory doesn't belong to the one who wants it the most. It belongs to the one who prepares in silence, moves in shadows, and strikes when no one's watching. You let them get comfortable. Let them feel safe. Let them build their house on a battlefield they don't even realize they're standing on. Then, one quiet night, you take it all, and they'll never understand how it happened. They'll ask how you outmaneuvered them. They'll blame luck, fate, betrayal, anything but their own blindness. Because admitting the truth is too painful. Admitting they were defeated by someone they laughed at, that would break them. So they lie to themselves. And you say nothing. You let them believe whatever comforts them, because you've already won. Schopenhauer believed that suffering is at the core of human life. But the wise man, he said, is the one who understands suffering and uses it, doesn't fight it, doesn't cry about it, just observes it. You suffer in silence, and through that suffering you learn. You learn how people think. You learn what makes them proud, what makes them weak, what makes them speak too soon. And when the time is right, you don't need to fight them. You let them destroy themselves. That's the real elegance of this strategy. You don't force anything. You don't push. You guide. Supplely, quietly. You let their egos do the work for you. And when the structure falls, you're the only one still standing. Not because you're the strongest, but because you were never seen as a threat. That's how empires are taken, not with war, but with patience. You walk into the palace dressed as a servant, and one day they hand you the throne, because they believe you're too stupid to use it. But you've been using it all along, just from the shadows, just in silence. People are predictable. They react to threats. They respond to status. They compete with anything they don't understand. So don't be understood. Be ignored. Let them focus on each other. Let them chase the spotlight, like moths to flame. Let them burn. And while they do, you gather fuel. You build quietly. You position yourself. So when the fire dies down, you're the only source of light left. This is how legends are made. Not in fame, not in noise, but in precision. They called it madness when you didn't fight back. They called it fear when you walked away. But that wasn't fear. It was calculation. Because not every battle is worth winning. Some are just distractions. Noise dressed up as opportunity. And you're not here for noise. You're here for control. Let them take the battles. Let them take the headlines. Let them be kings for a day. You're building something bigger, longer, unshakable. And you're doing it the only way that works, by letting them think you're not. That's the irony. The deeper your power grows, the more they believe you have none. That's how you know it's working. So next time they laugh, let them. Next time they assume, encourage it. Next time they bet against you, thank them. Because every time they dismiss you, they dig their own grave a little deeper. And they hand you the shovel with a smile. Act stupid. Stay dangerous.